Roman Reigns' absence from WWE TV raises alarming questions. The best and worst of WWE Raw, a very worrying update on JD McDonagh, CM Punk challenge to an intergender match. Why so many rappers on Raw? The buildup to WWE Royal Rumble is riddled with major issues. The WWE's transfer window ending, Drew McIntyre's future is of major concern, Jacob Fatu sent a message after breaking a major rule. Let's dive right in. The best and worst of WWE Raw. With the 2025 Royal Rumble 5 days away, WWE Raw was always going to focus on the premium live event. The men's match, in particular, got a lot of attention. The same cannot be said for every single match on the card, though. So, let's get into tonight's go-home episode of WWE Raw ahead of the Royal Rumble. Here are the biggest positives and negatives from the show. Number 1, best. The most exciting Royal Rumble ever? Through new superstars and old WWE Raw showcased the vast pool of talent in the men's Royal Rumble match. In the opening segment, Gunther had in-ring interactions with two potential contenders, Seth Rollins and Logan Paul. They could feasibly win the 30-man match and challenge for the World Heavyweight Championship. Meanwhile, Sami Zayn and Jey Uso are also in the mood, with the two of them determined to overcome the odds and win it all. Penta has declared for the Royal Rumble match too. We will get to the heavy hitters in a bit, but this proves how stacked the field is this year. Number 2, worst. Another flat women's Royal Rumble build. As exciting as the men's Royal Rumble match looks, this seems like another year where the 30-woman bout doesn't get a proper build. That is unfortunate, as there are many big contenders, including Bianca Belair and Naomi. Instead, they faced off against Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez, with Dominic Mysterio costing them the match. Well, at least we got a tense backstage interaction between Bayley and Sky. They might both be babyfaces now, but that doesn't mean the bad blood has evaporated. However, WWE Raw hasn't done a good job overall in building to the Women's Rumble. Part of this might be because Charlotte Flair hasn't returned on television. The Queen will play a huge part in the match on Saturday. She might even win the Royal Rumble. Number 3, best and worst. No OTC, but the Bloodline's daddy is here. Paul Heyman appeared on WWE Raw to reveal Roman Reigns as the cover star of WWE 2K25, before cutting a passionate promo on the OTC's chances in the Royal Rumble match. There was just one problem. Reigns wasn't there. His appearance would have made tonight's show even bigger. Regardless, Heyman had more to do on WWE Raw. He was interrupted by Drew McIntyre, who cut a menacing promo. The Scottish Warrior claimed he was the reason for the start of the Bloodline in 2020, before telling the Wiseman that he will eliminate CM Punk from the Rumble. Tension all around. McIntyre then faced Sami Zayn in a competitive match that ended the same way it had every other time they faced each other. Number 4, worst. JD McDonagh's injury. This was unfortunate. JD McDonagh suffered a nasty injury during WWE Raw as part of the Judgment Day's tag team title match against the Viking Raiders. He hit a springboard moonsault to the outside and hit the back of his head on the announce table in a sickening bump. While McDonagh finished the match, he did not look good. He collapsed upon returning backstage, which is a big concern. We wish JD McDonagh a speedy recovery from whatever injury he suffered on WWE Raw. Number 5, best. Cody Rhodes' productive WWE Raw appearance. Cody Rhodes had to be a part of WWE Raw tonight, as it was in his hometown of Atlanta. The American Nightmare showed up after Drew McIntyre defeated Sami Zayn and beat him down after the match. Kevin Owens also appeared, leading to even more chaos. With Rhodes and McIntyre fighting in the corner, Zayn accidentally hit the undisputed WWE champion with a hell of a kick. This is exactly what happened between him and Seth Rollins last week. Kevin Owens saw this and thinks the honorary use is on his side, lending more intrigue to the Royal Rumble on Saturday. However, that's not how WWE Raw ended. Cody Rhodes recovered and addressed his hometown crowd, only for CM Punk to interrupt him. 1 year on from their infamous pre-Royal Rumble confrontation, the two former AEW stars went at it again. Only this time, Punk is coming after Rhodes. They won't be in the same match this weekend, but if the Second City Saint has his way, they will face each other at WrestleMania 41. Will it happen though? We shall find out soon. A very worrying update on JD McDonagh. WWE superstar JD McDonagh had a nasty landing on this week's Monday Night Raw. A report has now shed some light on his status after the incident. The Judgment Day's Dominic Mysterio and McDonagh faced Eric and Ivar, the War Raiders, for the World Tag Team Championship on the Red brand. At one point in the match, JD McDonagh connected with a springboard moonsault to the outside on Ivar, but unfortunately, the back of his head landed on the announce table. While the doctors briefly checked in on the 34-year-old WWE star, he continued with the match. However, the Judgment Day duo failed to dethrone the champions for the tag titles. After the bout, McDonagh collapsed to the floor in the backstage area. According to Brian Alvarez of the Wrestling Observer, JD McDonagh was taken to the hospital following the match against the War Raiders on Raw. It was reported that despite the Judgment Day member's head and neck hitting the table, the main concern appears to be his ribs. Multiple WWE superstars including Dominic Mysterio and Chad Gable, have sent heartwarming messages to McDonagh after the scary bump. CM Punk challenged to an intergender match. CM Punk appears to have drawn the attention of a female WWE superstar just days before Royal Rumble. Raw's backstage interviewer Kathy Kelly recently expressed her desire to get in the ring with the Second City Saint. The straight-edge superstar has been riding high since returning from injury last summer. After conquering Drew McIntyre and Seth Rollins, he has set his sights on WrestleMania 41 main event. His path goes through the 29 other men in the Royal Rumble this year. During the go-home edition of Raw before Royal Rumble, CM Punk was interviewed backstage by Kathy Kelly, who asked the Chicago native to share his thoughts on Logan Paul entering the Royal Rumble match. Punk said Paul would suffer the same fate as everyone else, as he plans to eliminate them all. The former AEW and WWE World Champion jokingly said if Kathy Kelly were to enter the Royal Rumble, he would throw her out as well. After the show, Kelly took to her ex, asking WWE to book her in a match with Punk. "Me versus CM Punk when?" she wrote. CM Punk may be a controversial figure backstage, but he has become friends with several colleagues since his return in 2023. His playful exchange with Kathy Kelly was the most recent example of his spirited attitude. Why so many rappers on Raw? Former WWE head writer Vince Russo recently spoke about several guest stars making it to this week's episode of Raw. The show marked the final edition of the Red Brand ahead of the Royal Rumble. This week's Raw emanated from the State Farm Arena in Atlanta, Georgia. Several rappers and artists were present on the go-home episode before the Royal Rumble. This included several hometown artists like 2 Chainz, Quavo, Lil Baby, Killer Mike, and Lil Yachty. This week on Sportskeeda Wrestling's Legion of Raw, Russo questioned why WWE invited all these musicians to their shows. The veteran writer felt many wrestling fans watching the show wouldn't relate to these artists. He added that the rappers got their TV time on Raw but would not show up ever again, and their presence was inconsequential to the show. Who are all these freaking rappers? Okay, bro, I get we're in Atlanta. Who are these people with their 15 minutes of fame and who cares, bro? Is that the WWE trying to be hip and cool? These rappers are gonna be over for 15 minutes and you're never gonna hear of them ever again. Who are these people and why are they all lol? WWE has long associated celebrities with its shows to attract mainstream audiences. Social media sensation iShowSpeed is expected to attend the Royal Rumble this year. It will be interesting which other celebs make it to the premium live event this Saturday. The build-up to WWE Royal Rumble is riddled with major issues. Former WWE head writer Vince Russo is not impressed with the company's build to the Royal Rumble. This year's premium live event will take place on February 1st at the Lucas Oil Stadium in Indianapolis. This week's episode of The Red Brand emanated from the famous State Farm Arena in Atlanta, Georgia. The show was an important pit stop ahead of the Royal Rumble event. Major WWE stars such as Cody Rhodes, Seth Rollins, CM Punk, Drew McIntyre, Gunther, and even Paul Heyman were present for the show. During the latest Legion of Raw episode, Russo felt the build-up to the Royal Rumble had been lackluster. The veteran writer noted that the stars were only talking about how they would win the Rumble match and headline WrestleMania throughout the show. Vince felt there was no substance in the weekly programming heading into one of the biggest weekends of the year. "I just feel like I'm just seeing everybody cutting promos saying they're gonna win the Royal Rumble. I feel like that's the only thing I'm seeing," said Russo. This year's Rumble is one of the most stacked fields in WWE history. Several former world champions have declared themselves for the match, including John Cena, Roman Reigns, CM Punk, Seth Rollins, Drew McIntyre, and Rey Mysterio. Other popular stars like Jey Uso, Sami Zayn, and Logan Paul will participate in the marquee matchup. The WWE's transfer window ending. WWE's transfer window is about to slam shut, and Michael Cole made it official during the January 27th episode of Monday Night Raw. With Royal Rumble weekend just days away, the window that has allowed superstars to move freely between brands will officially close once the premium live event wraps up on Saturday, February 1st. The confirmation came when Cole addressed Zelina Vega's move to SmackDown, explaining that she was transferred as part of the brand switch period that has shaken up WWE's rosters. Zelina has been sent over to Friday Night SmackDown as part of the transfer window here in WWE, Cole stated. That'll end Royal Rumble weekend. Since opening on the December 6th, 2024 episode of SmackDown, the transfer window has led to some major shifts in WWE. While some stars have only made guest appearances, others have been permanently reassigned. Among those switching brands, with the WWE transfer window closing at the end of Royal Rumble weekend, the clock is ticking for any last-minute roster shakeups. Stars like Logan Paul, Damian Priest, and Zelina Vega have already found new homes, but could WWE have a few more surprises in store before the deadline? With the Royal Rumble known for shocking moments, fans will be keeping a close eye on any unexpected switches. Drew McIntyre's future is of major concern. He has been an exceptional performer for WWE since his return in 2017, but Drew McIntyre's current booking has perplexed many. Vince Russo recently shared his thoughts on the Scotsman. McIntyre has somewhat been a lone wolf and a heel who has stayed firm on his strong on-screen opinions on Monday Night Raw. While his banter on social media and the microphone is unmatched, the former WWE champion might not have the same aura he once developed as an in-ring star. The Scottish Warrior's presentation was discussed on the latest episode of Sportskeeda Wrestling's Legion of Raw. During the chat, Vince Russo briefly pointed out the booking issues with McIntyre. Vince Russo believed WWE put Drew McIntyre in weird situations as he either lost due to a move like a roll-up or he went 50-50 with his opponents. The manner in which McIntyre's matches have gone has led Russo to be concerned about the Raw superstar's future in WWE. The former writer had no clue what the company's long-term goals were for McIntyre, as he noted, "I have no idea, bro. He either gets beaten up with like a last-second something or he is going 50-50 with Sami Zayn. I have no idea." Drew McIntyre has been embroiled in a storyline with Sami Zayn on TV, and he picked up another win over his rival this week on Raw. Jacob Fatu sent a message after breaking a major rule. Jacob Fatu has been a force to be reckoned with in WWE. The star took matters into his own hands after Solo Sikoa left without saying a word. Now, a WWE legend has sent him a message. He faced Braun Strowman in a match at Saturday night's main event, and during the bout, hit the monster of all monsters with multiple hip attacks in the corner until he was bleeding. He threw away the referee who tried to stop him, resulting in the match being called off. In the process, he broke a major rule as superstars are strictly prohibited from putting their hands on match officials. The star then hit multiple moonsaults until the bleeding Strowman could hardly breathe. Now Rikishi has sent him a message. Rikishi praised Fatu, saying that he had arrived and gone viral. He heard the crowd yelling the Fatu name, something he appreciated. He added that the Samoan werewolf had listened, learned, and done the hard work. The WWE legend finished off by saying that he was proud of the star. Jacob Fatu has arrived, Senemi, viral WWE God never missed the crowd yelling our last name. Fatu, 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 get it, Jacob. You listened, learned, and did the work, look at you now. Wrestling superstar proud of you, Jake, stay the course. Jacob Fatu. Roman Reigns' absence from WWE TV raises alarming questions. We're less than a week away from Royal Rumble, and all fans have witnessed is a large banner of Roman Reigns and not the man himself. This has annoyed veteran writer Vince Russo. The latest episode of Monday Night Raw emanated from Atlanta and featured several moments built into the Royal Rumble narrative. Paul Heyman appeared to announce Roman Reigns as the cover star for WWE 2K25, and a verbal back and forth between Heyman and Drew McIntyre followed it. During the post-show review on Sportskeeda Wrestling's Legion of Raw, Vince Russo revealed a WWE mistake about not involving its top stars in better angles before Royal Rumble. Ahead of such an important premium live event, Vince Russo would have liked to see some prominent stars like Seth Rollins, Cody Rhodes, Rhea Ripley, and others wrestle. Regarding Reigns' absence, Vince Russo couldn't grasp how the promotion could keep its most popular star in recent times away from weekly TV shows. Russo explained, "I just don't get it. Roman being absent like this is the third week of Netflix. Is this the third or the fourth? And you're in Cody Rhodes' hometown. Cody is not wrestling. Seth Rollins is not wrestling. CM Punk isn't wrestling. Roman Reigns isn't wrestling. Rhea Ripley isn't wrestling. I don't understand it. We were always man in balls to the walls mode. Always man. Reigns will compete in the Royal Rumble match. To no one's surprise, he is one of the favorites to win the high-profile showdown that will see a lot more star power than in recent years."